When Lauren Sánchez married Jeff Bezos in Venice on June 27, 2025, the world saw the glamour first. The couture gown, the candlelit canals, the billionaire guests arriving by boat. It was a spectacle worthy of headlines across continents. But behind the grandeur, behind the iconic photos of the couple kissing outside the Amman Hotel, there was a quieter, deeply personal moment that would become, in Lauren's own words, the most meaningful part of her wedding day. It wasn't the fireworks. It wasn't the setting. It wasn't even the vows exchanged between two of the most talked about figures in the world. It was a sentence. A simple sentence spoken by her son. During a recent television appearance, Lauren opened up about the ceremony in a way she rarely does. She revealed that all three of her children were invited to speak during the celebration. It was important to her that they felt included, that they felt this wasn't just her new chapter, but a shared one. After all, marriage at this stage in life is not just about two people. It is about blending families, histories, and futures. Lauren is a proud mother to Nico, Evan, and Ella. She has always spoken openly about motherhood being her anchor, her greatest identity beyond career titles or public labels. And as her children prepared to address the guests gathered in Venice, she had no idea what was coming. One of her sons, who is dyslexic and has allowed her to speak publicly about it, stepped forward to share a memory. Lauren herself has been candid about growing up with undiagnosed dyslexia. She even wrote a children's book inspired by her journey, determined to turn what once felt like a struggle into a source of empowerment for other families. But this moment was not about her advocacy work. It was about something much more intimate. Her son began talking about when he was in 4th grade. A time when writing did not come easily. A time when frustration could have overshadowed confidence. Lauren remembered how he had difficulty forming sentences, how progress felt slow compared to other children. Any parent of a child with dyslexia understands the mix of worry and fierce protectiveness that can come with it. And then, one day, he wrote his first full sentence. "I can do this." Lauren has described that moment as monumental. For many children, writing a sentence in 4th grade may seem late. For her son, it was a breakthrough. It was proof of perseverance. It was defiance against doubt. So she did something only a mother would think to do. She enlarged that sentence and placed it in their kitchen, turning it into a daily reminder that challenges do not define you. Determination does. Years later, on her wedding day in Venice, surrounded by elegance and power and history, her son chose to talk about that sign. He told the guests how special that gesture had been to him. How seen he felt. How supported. How that sentence became more than words on paper. It became belief. As Lauren recounted the story, her voice reportedly trembled. She admitted that hearing him speak about that moment was the most impactful part of her wedding. Then, with a smile, she joked that it was the second most meaningful moment, right after marrying Jeff. But the emotion behind her words was unmistakable. Because in that instant, the lavish celebration faded into the background. The billion-dollar headlines faded. The global fascination faded. What remained was a mother watching her child stand tall. The wedding itself marked not just the union of Lauren and Jeff, who began dating in 2019, but also the blending of two large families. In marrying Jeff, Lauren became stepmother to his 4 children from his previous marriage. It was not simply a romantic milestone. It was a family evolution. And perhaps that is why the speeches mattered so much. Weddings often center on the couple. But this ceremony gave space to the children. It acknowledged their voices. It recognized that love expands outward. Lauren later reflected on how powerful it was to see the kids articulate what was important to them. It wasn't rehearsed perfection. It was authenticity. There is something striking about the contrast between the scale of the event and the simplicity of the memory that stole the spotlight. Venice offered palaces and gondolas. Guests offered applause. Fashion offered spectacle. But the sentence, "I can do this," offered something else entirely. It represented resilience. It represented growth. It represented a journey from struggle to confidence. For Lauren, who once navigated her own undiagnosed dyslexia without a roadmap, hearing her son own his story publicly must have felt like a full-circle moment. A quiet victory woven into a very public day. In the end, the world may remember the wedding for its luxury and exclusivity. The photographs will circulate for years. The guest list will remain a topic of fascination. But for Lauren Sánchez, when she looks back on June 27, 2025, it will not be the chandeliers reflected in the canals of Venice that define it. It will be her child standing up, remembering a kitchen sign, and proving that sometimes the most powerful vows spoken at a wedding are not between spouses, but between a parent and a child who once wrote, "Against all odds, I can do this."